Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing some overall sort of plot predictions for what I think we're going to see for the second half of The Walking Dead Season 5. Okay, and this may contain spoilers, so if you really don't want to know or don't want any information, then you may not want to watch this. You should be caught up with the TV series, and we're going to be talking about some of the stuff that happens in the comic book series coming up, because of course the TV series is loosely based off the comic book series. They add things in, but a lot of the same events occur. Now, in terms of where we're at right now, in terms of timing, would be somewhere around probably about maybe a third through trade paperback volume 12, which is called Life Among Them. In this one, at the beginning, we find out that Eugene is lying about the whole mission to Washington, and in addition to that, we see this herd where Rick kind of sees it and says F, and then they basically decide to go back, or sees a town that has been kind of taken over by zombies, or is full of zombies, so they decide to go back. So those events, I'm thinking, took place around episode 5? It was the one where we had the focus on Abraham, Eugene, and Rosita's group by themselves. And then, of course, because Beth actually does not exist, they added in the additional stuff, which had some other moments that were similar, like when Rick runs over Bob, that kind of stuff, and actually having Beth die. But that's all additional because Beth does not exist. So, that whole storyline, Dawn, the officers, none of that happens in the comic book series. So I'm thinking we're going to take, we'll probably take up where this pretty much leaves off, which is that we basically have Eugene. They find out that he's a liar, and then we meet a character who's named Aaron, who's right here. Now, Kirkman did say that we were going to meet a prominent gay character in the series, and to me, based on timing of the book, it sounds like it's going to be him. Now, what he basically is, I've talked about this a little bit before quickly. Those of you who've read the comic book series know what his job is. But he's a part of a community called Alexandria, and what he is basically is a scout. So he goes out and he scouts around to see what's going on in the surrounding area. He tries to find people that have skills that they can bring into Alexandria, into the community, and make it even better. So people that are either, really good survivors out there in the world, or, people like with Rick's group, are tough or good survivors that they can add to the group to better their own chances of survival. And that's the Alexandria Safe Zone. So in terms of when we're going to be seeing that, in the promo, we do see them on the road, which reminds me a lot of like the beginning of this, right up until the point when they meet Aaron. Who knows if it's going to be like the first episode, or maybe in a couple episodes when we actually see them meet him. Might be the end of like episode 9 or possibly 10, and then going on from there, we would have basically them being integrated into Alexandria, meeting the people of Alexandria, and starting to fit in. So I would think that would take a few episodes right there, maybe about half the season, because they seem to like to separate up into halves. And basically that's all we really get to see in terms of this story here, is them pretty much being brought into that group and not really being able to fit in that well, or being suspicious of whether or not they can trust people at Alexandria. So I'm thinking that's going to take up at least half of the second half. So going into the final half, we would be looking at the next trade, which is called Too Far Gone. Yeah, funny, right? That's where the title of the episode came from. When I hear that, I always think of the episode now, but this was released prior to that episode anyway, with the governor in it and everything, and Herschel and all that. So with this one, basically, we're seeing the group, kind of finding their place in Alexandria. Rick's given a job as a constable because, of course, he was a police officer prior. So he goes around in the community and he tries to keep the peace, tries to keep everybody, I guess, doing the right thing and make sure everything's going okay. And he pretty quickly realizes that there is some people in the community that are not very good people. One in particular, his name is Peter. He has a wife and son, and Rick kind of finds out pretty quickly that it seems that he's beating his son. Pretty bad too, giving the kid black eyes and stuff like that. So we see kind of a conflict between those two pretty quickly. I'm thinking we're not going to see that in the TV series version. We'll see something different. It might be similar, but I think it'll be a different character. It'll be maybe not necessarily Rick, but somebody like that. And then we also have Michonne, who just can't understand why everybody in this community is so relaxed. And, it's kind of like they're living in this community sort of like closer to real life, like closer to regular life, like how we live. And she just gets so mad when she goes to a get-together with them. You can see them on the cover here. They're kind of at a get-together. They're drinking, and they're, you got this guy smiling, and they're having a good time. And they just can't. You've got Rick in the middle there. He just, he's kind of got a stern look on his face. They just can't, relax and just act normal again, just like real life, after they've seen what they've seen in the zombie apocalypse. So now that's a second trade, and it does end pretty well with some major deaths. It won't ruin what happens in it any further. I won't give away any more things that happen in it. But that's two trades, and at the pacing The Walking Dead is going at now, I think for 8 episodes, that's probably pretty much all we're going to see. I was thinking they were going to end the season with this one, which is called No Way Out. You can see the zombies there. And basically what happens is a herd comes through, and it basically knocks down the fences, gets inside, and it's one of the most exciting parts of the whole Walking Dead story, because it's like the group against just a ridiculous amount of zombies to the point where they have no way out. And there's some really shocking things that happen in it that I won't spoil. Again, those of you who read it will know. So I was thinking this is where they were going to end the season. If they do that, this second half, man, it'll make season 5 one of the best seasons ever. May take out season 3 for my favorite. You guys know how I stand on that. It could happen if they include this. But I'm thinking based on pacing, I think 2 is probably all we're going to get. Because if you look at the first half, that's really like 1.3 or 1.4, something like that, in terms of trades, and that's it. So the second half, how many would it be? I would think only a couple. So we're probably looking at the events of Life Among Them and Too Far Gone, of them basically meeting Aaron, with Noah and the rest of the group, burying Beth and all that, and then finding this Alexandria safe zone, and then being integrated back into it with some characters of the group, maybe Carol and some of the others that just cannot, just kind of become part of a bigger group that is closed off, has some really big construction that has basically sealed them off from the zombie apocalypse. So you have people inside that are just living almost like normal life, So it should be an interesting half season. Should be a lot of fun. I'm thinking, of course, we're going to see the Beth thing first, and you have different characters in the comic book series. You have Daryl and the rest and all that. So how they integrate into this group, where Daryl fits in that kind of a group will be interesting. Is he going to be like Abraham in the story is in construction? He helps build the wall that keeps the zombies out. Rick is a constable. I think Michonne is also a constable. But where are all the other characters going to fit in? What's Carol going to do if she gets integrated into this group? What's Daryl going to do? What about the others? Because we have a lot of other characters like Tyrese and that. So it'll be interesting to see how much they cover, but I'm thinking only those 2 trades, which would be 12 and 13, and I don't think we're going to see the herd come through until the following season, even though that would be like a perfect way to end the season on a huge note. But what they might do is they might get that kind of started and then have us actually see it next half season. So that'd be season 6, first half, either like the premiere or the mid-season finale, see this huge herd come through as they're a part of this new community, Alexandria. So it should be great, and I'm really excited. Got high hopes for it. The first half of season 5 was really good, and I think that no matter what, it's one of the best seasons of The Walking Dead so far. I would say it's one of the best half seasons. Even though it's not my favorite, I don't think it is absolutely the best. But we'll see how the second half ends up. So let me know what you guys think about that. And, do some predictions of your own. What do you think we're going to see? You can get specific if you want to. I won't, just because I don't want to ruin anything should certain events happen. Should a character be shot? Should, you guys who have read it, you know where I'm going with this kind of stuff that may or may not happen. So anyway, really excited for the second half of The Walking Dead. Of course, returns in February, so we're basically only a month out now. A month in a week or a month in a few days. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about plot predictions. Do some of your own, and that's pretty much all I got to say. Of course, if you want to see my death predictions video, check that out. Put the link in the description for that. And if you guys like the video, please thumb it up below. If you want to help support the channel, please share it. Please favorite it. That's it for this one, guys. See you for the next one. As always, it's Trev. Saying peace.